6-year-old Ava Sinclair Carter screamed as she ran barefoot through the rain-soaked parking lot. Her tiny hands grabbed the back of her father's coat desperately. "Daddy, please. I'll be good. Please don't leave me." But Daniel Carter ripped her hand away. His face looked cold, heartless, terrified. "Take her," he muttered. The couple standing beside the black van quickly pulled Ava back while she cried hysterically. "No, Daddy, Daddy." Daniel stuffed a thick envelope full of cash into his jacket. Then he turned around and walked away from his own daughter. Ava's screams echoed through the storm, but he never looked back. Before this story continues, take 1 second to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below where you're watching from, because this story is about to get emotional. 16 years later, rain poured heavily outside a courthouse in Chicago. 17-year-old Ava sat alone on a bench holding a worn backpack tightly against her chest. Inside the bag were all her belongings: 2 shirts, a diner uniform, a broken phone, and the same silver necklace she had worn since childhood. She had nowhere to go. Just 1 hour earlier, she had been fired from her job after being accused of stealing money. "I didn't take it," she cried inside the diner. But nobody believed her. Her manager slammed his hand on the counter angrily. "The money disappeared during your shift." "That's not true. Get out before I call the police." The entire diner stared while Ava fought back tears. One waitress whispered loudly, "I knew there was something suspicious about her." Another worker shook her head. "People like her always steal eventually." Ava walked out, humiliated. Now she sat outside the courthouse, shivering from the cold rain. Then suddenly, 3 black luxury SUVs stopped nearby. People instantly pulled out their phones. "Oh my God, that's her. It's Evelyn Sinclair." The SUV doors opened, and out stepped Evelyn Sinclair, one of the richest women in America. Elegant black coat, diamond earrings, security guards surrounding her, reporters shouting questions. But Evelyn ignored everyone, because her eyes had locked onto something else: the silver necklace around Ava's neck. Evelyn froze. Her breathing became uneven. "No way," she whispered. She slowly walked toward the bench. Ava looked up nervously. Evelyn pointed at the necklace with shaking hands. "Where did you get that?" Ava frowned. "I've had it my whole life." Evelyn's eyes filled with tears instantly. "What's your name?" "Ava." The billionaire nearly collapsed, because 16 years ago, her daughter had disappeared, and that necklace was the last thing she remembered putting around her neck. Years earlier, Evelyn had everything: a billion-dollar company, luxury homes, magazine covers, a beautiful daughter. But behind closed doors, her husband Daniel was drowning in gambling debt. Debt collectors called nonstop. One night, a man grabbed Daniel outside a casino. "You owe us $300,000. I just need more time." "You're out of time." The man leaned closer. "Unless you have something valuable to trade." That was the night Daniel made the worst decision of his life. A few days later, Evelyn traveled overseas for business. The moment she left, Daniel sold Ava illegally. Then he told the world she died in a boating accident. When Evelyn returned home, she smiled while entering the mansion. "Ava, Mommy's home." Silence. Daniel appeared crying. "There was an accident." Evelyn's smile disappeared slowly. "What accident?" "The boat flipped over." "No, we couldn't save her." Evelyn screamed so loudly the entire house went silent. "No, no." But the strangest part was this: no body was ever found. Everyone believed the story except Evelyn. For 16 years, she searched endlessly. Private investigators, police reports, missing child organizations. Nothing. Meanwhile, Ava grew up in hell. Margaret Doyle and Ronald Doyle never loved her. They only wanted the government money they received for taking her in. At 12 years old, Ava cooked, cleaned, washed clothes, and babysat children daily. One night, Ava quietly asked, "Did my real parents love me?" Margaret laughed cruelly. "If they loved you, they wouldn't have abandoned you." That sentence destroyed Ava. Every birthday, she cried silently, wondering why nobody wanted her. Back outside the courthouse, Evelyn sat beside Ava carefully. "You said you've had that necklace your whole life." "Yes." Who gave it to you? I don't know. Evelyn's hands trembled harder. She pointed toward the initials engraved on it. Yes. Ava nodded. I always wondered what it meant. Evelyn began crying openly. Ava Sinclair. What? That's your name. Ava stared at her confused. You're mistaken. No, Evelyn Panfili. I think of my daughter. Ava stood up immediately. What? I know this sounds crazy. Crazy? You're some billionaire woman saying I'm your child? People nearby started recording videos. Ava backed away. My mother abandoned me years ago. Evelyn shook her head desperately. No, I never stopped searching for you. Ava laughed bitterly. People don't search 16 years for somebody. I did. The pain in Evelyn's voice made Ava pause. Then Evelyn softly asked, Please just take one DNA test. Ava hesitated. For the first time in years, someone looked at her like she mattered. 2 days later, the DNA results arrived. The room went silent. The doctor adjusted his glasses nervously. There's a 99.99% probability that Ms. Evelyn Sinclair is Ava's biological mother. Ava stopped breathing. Evelyn burst into tears instantly. Oh my God! Ava's voice shook. You're really my mother? Evelyn grabbed her hands tightly. I searched for you every single day. Ava suddenly began crying uncontrollably. You didn't abandon me? Never. Then why didn't you come for me? Evelyn broke down completely. Because somebody stole you from me. At that exact moment, everything changed. The reunion exploded across national news. Missing billionaire daughter found alive after 16 years. But while the world celebrated, Daniel panicked. He dropped his phone after seeing Ava on television. No. His wife, Lisa Carter, stared at him. What did you do? Daniel immediately started burning old documents. But it was too late. Investigators reopened the case. Former criminals started confessing. One man finally admitted the truth. Daniel Carter sold his daughter for money. The nation exploded with outrage. Ava couldn't stop crying after hearing the full story. He sold me. Evelyn hugged her tightly. You were never unwanted. But my own father sold me. Her voice cracked painfully. What kind of father does that? Meanwhile, police stormed Daniel's house. Daniel Carter, open the door. Daniel tried escaping through the back entrance, but officers tackled him to the ground. You're under arrest for child trafficking, fraud, and conspiracy. Weeks later, the courtroom was packed. Reporters filled every seat. Daniel stood trembling before the judge. His eyes finally met Ava's. Ava, I can explain. You sold me. I was desperate. You took money for your own child. Tears streamed down Daniel's face. I made a mistake. Ava shook her head slowly. No. The courtroom became silent. A mistake is forgetting somebody's birthday. Her voice grew stronger. A mistake is missing a phone call. She stared directly into his eyes. But selling your daughter? Tears rolled down her cheeks. That was a choice. Even the judge looked emotional. Daniel lowered his head in shame. He was sentenced to prison alongside the people involved in the illegal adoption ring. For the first time in her life, justice had finally arrived. A few months later, Ava stood on the balcony of Evelyn's oceanfront mansion in Los Angeles. The sunset reflected beautifully across the water. Evelyn walked outside, smiling softly. You okay? Ava nodded slowly. I still can't believe this is real. You deserve every bit of it. Ava looked around the luxurious mansion. The warm lights, the peaceful silence, the safety. For the first time in her life, she finally felt loved. Evelyn gently held her hand. I'm sorry it took me so long to find you. Ava leaned against her shoulder. But you found me. And after 16 years of pain, mother and daughter finally went home together. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel Greenland Story, turn on the notification bell icon, and be the first to get notified when we drop a new story. Comment below. What would you do if you discovered your entire life was built on a lie? Thank you for watching.